Okay, off to the side here, I built this building. This was one of the later projects. Where are you guys? I don't see you.
I'm trying to find you.
Where are you?
Oh, over here, over here.
Oh,
I see you, I see you.
I see
Over
you.
here.
There.
Oh, well, where? That doesn't mean anything to
Turn
me.
around, turn around, turn
At
around,
the
turn
Denmark
around.
flag. European flag.
There you are.
Right here.
Alright.
Right behind you.
And over here, this was the next building I made. This one's roughly small. This is one of the later buildings. And it's behind the canal that leads to the farm. And there's a water elevator to get the canal. So technically, if you were to ride a boat, it is possible to go up the waterway and then through here and into the industrial section. And now I'll talk about that next. So over here, I have the first warehouse I built. So you can go in through the doors. It's basically empty. There's nothing special about him. And the highway runs next to it, but I'll talk about that a bit later.
Nathan, get back here. There's a lion here.
I saw multiple lies.
Lies the lie.
And then over here is the second warehouse. This one's a more modern warehouse, basically iron and stone on the inside. And then to the next of it is a rail line. And I'll talk about the rail line after I give you a tour of the industrial area, because the rail line is pretty big. So over here we have the Dutchtown iron foundry. So all the iron would then be deposited inside here. They would be cooked in the furnace and made into iron ingots. And then they'd be then stored in chests nearby, and then they can be taken over to the weigh station over here, and then they can be deposited on these storage minecarts.
Alright.
And then across from there, across the railroad crossing, which I'll explain shortly, is the other foundry-based building. This one is roughly incomplete, but this one is like a this one is a coal building. It's to make charcoal, I believe. So you can consider it's a coke building, I guess, because you're making coke.
Very nice.
No. And now up behind here are storage tanks to contain both water and lava. These are somewhat reminiscent of like what you would find at oil refineries. Those giant white tanks that contain the fuels that power our world.
Nathan. Swarm die.
Ooh. Into the lava.
Yeah, Edmond called it a hot tub.
Yeah, I guess.
Seems fitting.
Well.
And then, let's see.
Hey, anyone want to play 300 there?
No.
Okay, and over here we have an incinerator. And over here we have a stone factory. It's a refinery. Now, I didn't perfect it, but technically you could break the stone, the cobblestone, and it'll become a cobblestone generator. And then over here is just another part of the refinery, and obviously a rail line linking the two together. And that's it for the factories. They all have chimneys, or I tried to make them have chimneys. Over here is the dock. There's technically two docks in Dutchtown. There's one next to all the there's two docks. There's one next to all the skyscrapers. That's for leisure, and this one's more the industrial compound area. Over here is a large radio tower. So it's, you know, red, white, with
across the nation, Holland.
And then over here I have a container crane with wool shipping containers.
Very nice.
And then right nearby it is Sharkjaw's castle. We kind of had this tacit agreement, and we made borders. And this lake right here, this giant lake, is actually all man-made, courtesy of Edmond's TNT house.
Madness. You guys are crazy.
And now I guess I can go ahead and explain the rail line. So, what I decided to do here, let me pull out a minecart in my inventory. what I did with this system here is,
Fantastic.
I kind of fiddled around with the redstoning and pistons, and so I came up with this road crossing over here. Oh, there you are. And so basically what this road crossing does, if you guys can move away from the railroad crossing, be safe, get away. And basically when the minecart travels over the detector rails, what will happen is... Oh, it doesn't work.
Whoa.
The railroad crossing will raise up.
I'm in the car.
Very
Hold on,
cool. Do it again, because I kind of... Maybe we start over here, not, like, further
There we
back.
go.
Yeah.
Ah,
So it goes up so people won't cross then. Nice.
I can still cross.
And then,
You can jump
I
over
guess-
suddenly.
Death wish.
Okay, and so it crosses over like that. And then I did this twice. There's another one over here. And then now I'm going to explain next the switching system that I have set up. So over here, rather than having like, I made the switches mechanized, so they use a system of levers to mechanize them. So don't flip anything, because I have to explain how it works. So how it works is, this switch over here powers the rail and the piston at the same time. So it's kind of tricky to use, but it's fairly handy. So if we want to stop the minecart from going, you turn off the rails, and let's say there's a minecart, the minecart stops between the pistons, and to make the minecarts operate properly, what I would do is I would then flip this switch, this piston would then go down, and then I would turn this switch on, and derp, it didn't work. Well, what would happen is, here, we need to push it a bit ahead. Okay, so then what would happen is you flip the switch. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And then the
Aha,
minecart
there we
switches over
go.
to the other line. And then what you do is then, because the minecart is now against the other block, you just press the button here, and it sends the minecart on its merry way on the other line.
Sweet. Very cool.
So that's a mechanized switching system that I basically implemented throughout the entire city, the entire rail line. And then this switch over here leads over to the Frontier Wood Punching Services. So basically it's a sawmill.
Man. Very manly.
What would you
And
do
then-
over here?
Basically that's a collection center for all the wood, and then behind there's some crafting benches to make it into timber, wooden planks, and then from there you stack it here, and then they'll be then placed in chests, which then they'll be placed in mine carts, and then taken back to the warehouses.
Ah, I see. Oh,
Yep. And now let's take a trip on the minecart, because when we take a trip on the minecarts, you guys will get to see wonders of things. So I'll first flip this switch back to its original pattern, like so. And let's all get on a minecart.
alright.
Over
Gotta
here.
get myself a minecart.
new cool thing you can do with arrows. Shoot minecarts off the tracks.
Where should I get
And
on?
then over here where I am, I'm flying by the warehouses. And then I will,
Okay.
I'll let you go first. You basically put the minecart against the slanted wheel. Okay, wait here. Wait, no, wait. Push. I'm gonna push you. You need to be in
Okay.
this direction, and then you press the button.
Oh crap, I destroyed the button, I forgot. I misclicked. Hang on.
Okay,
I got a button. Oh, now I
And
destroyed the
you-
Because
block.
it's not very... Just because it's not very appropriate, I'm gonna get rid of something that Blot added over here. Is
There
that
you
okay?
go.
There we go. Oh, into the sunset.
Nate?
Whee! This is a beautiful shot.
Yes, it's the pant house.
Don't get rid of anything anyone else built, guys. You know that's annoying. Keep the pant house.
You might want to look at it first before you say
I've
that.
seen the pant house. I approve. Don't destroy it. cross the bridge.
And this is the iron bridge I built. It's basically a suspension bridge. And it leads into the quarry.
Guess
So
who
over
made
here.
that?
That would be your mother.
The explosions are courtesy of Edmod once again. Yep. And so basically people would be mining here, put them into storage bins, and then they'd be then taken over to back to the warehouses. Now over here, I did this fairly recently, but over here inside the rail tunnel, I made a version of what a functional mine shaft would be. So it isn't an abandoned mine shaft, it's an operating mine shaft, so minus all the abandonedness. There's nothing in the chest.
Nice.
So these continue on. And I did try to put a bit of history behind them, so the mine shafts have names and they have dates on them. And basically these cut through the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Like over there, there's more over there. Let's see.
Could have put a little
So
mind
over
your
here-
step sign here when chance on your ground.
This is a continuation of the mine. You can go through here. And then here's one of the mine shafts I built. Now I did, as I said, I tried to add a history behind it. So over here, I have a partially abandoned mine shaft.
Nice. I like it. That
And
is
actually,
really
behind this mine shaft, there are two portals. And I tried to make it seem like as though they found the portal and they got freaked out and they closed up the mine.
cool. That's very, very cool. I like that a lot.
I like.
And I added a sign right here just for the lulz, so so people have been making comments.
No.
And then the mine shaft over here, it continues downward.
Space.
And then the same thing happened over here, except this one's a bit different. There's TNT inside this mine because they didn't finish the job, so it's dangerous.
Well, that's not good.
So yeah, so those are the, I also have one more abandoned mine shaft that I built. But yeah, this is the mine system that I had set up. It basically cuts through almost this entire mountain. And it links up with the quarry, so it kind of makes sense, as you can probably say.
This sensible mine shaft.
Here's the second abandoned mine shaft over here. This one's been decommissioned as though they finished a job and they just left it to rot. And then this mine shaft in particular ends here, but this is pretty much the entire mining system, and this actually ends close by to the Wells temple. The one in your
Alright,
honor.
which we featured in a previous video, guys. I'll put a link to that.
And then let's fly over the temple, back to the quarry. And let's continue on the Minecraft line.
Alright. Make our way past the
Grab your
temple.
So put your minecart on the slanted edge of the powered rail, and then just press the button on the side.
I gotta get back to you. Hang on. I'm flying down to the quarry. Alright.
And then, so basically just get in the minecart and follow me.
Whee! Seatbelts, everyone!
Get off. This is
to
a
New
giant
England.
viaduct system that I built, and this rail line takes us straight to New England and forms a complete loop and takes us back to the warehouses again.
That's my
New England, but
So
built
it is
mostly
a
by Gus
complete system.
Giswold, and we featured New England in a previous video, so you guys can check that out as well.
So
Which will most
city
likely
is
be uploaded
roughly
5
integrated.
months
Is
from
basically completely integrated together. So basically, Dutchtown is just as together and integrated with all the other cities in the region. And actually, this rail line actually runs underneath the new highway segment that I built, RHW3, I believe, for the regional highway number 3. So I'll feature that next.
Here's the
now.
aqueduct.
The New England Intercapital Train Station. Please remember all personal preferences. No,
And
Please
train
keep
station.
on
Sure.
the side of the train at all times. Thank you.
Yep. And now let's exit the train station because that takes us right back to Dutchtown in the end.
Oops.
To
That's
Jack
the wrong
Cody's,
way.
Station. And then
We now have about 3 airfields, but not a single airplane.
you did feature. Actually, I'll get to that later. But this is RHW2. RHW2 runs from the spawn point all the way to New England, and it's all the blue signs. This is following the same standardized system that will be featured on the new server. Just to let you guys know. And then RHW, then it turns into the regional highway number 3, which basically follows underneath here. And this is basically a giant new highway system that I built.
If you look to the right, you will see Edmond's parachute.
And then it then separates from the main line itself, goes through the crevice, goes through the large mountains here, winds its way through, and then parallels the bridge.
Here's a good
where are
view
you,
of the
Nick?
whole bridge
Oh,
in its
where are you?
entirety, because we didn't get to see
Oh,
the
there you
bridge
are. I
before.
see you.